Tonight, persistent theft targeting Pride.
It really is integral to community and inclusion.
Flagpoles toppled in Perth County, seemingly for flying the rainbow. Plus, preparing for a lengthy disruption.
Everybody be complaining if it wasn't done, so we just have to live with it.
Big plans for Boler Road, a year's worth of construction. And letters from their younger self.
I think that's kind of crazy because, I'd never thought I'd actually get this back.
The London students reconnecting with their past.
CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Provincial police say they're looking for 2 suspects accused of cutting down flagpoles outside 4 Perth County schools. As Scott Miller reports, the vandals' motivation sure seems to be the flags those poles were flying.
3 tiny pride flags flutter in the wind at the base of a flagpole outside Elma Township Public School near Atwood. The tiny flags are a temporary replacement for a flagpole holding a large pride flag and Canadian flag that was cut down by vandals sometime over the weekend.
That was placed by a kindergartner who was just devastated that she saw that the flagpole was cut down. And so for her to take it upon herself to put those little flags up speaks mountains of support throughout our community.
In all, 4 flagpoles displaying pride and Canadian flags at 4 Perth County elementary schools were chopped down by vandals over the weekend. Local pride organizations are upset by the vandalism, but sadly say they're getting used to it.
It was definitely unfortunate. It's not surprising in some ways, considering the events that we've heard about in Norwich and Markham and other places. It's something that you don't want to see in your community, but when it comes to being visible and transparent about Pride, you do sometimes expect some backlash, unfortunately.
In the Avon-Maitland District School Board, who just this year got pride flags displayed at all 39 of their schools, the weekend vandalism is being described as targeted and hateful.
Well, what's frustrating and disappointing is racism and hate is expensive. So instead of allocating resources to students, I now have to replace 4 flagpoles that also carry the Canadian flag, which to me is also a disaster when you think about you have that much hate where you're willing to sacrifice your own country.
In nearby North Perth, where they've been flying the pride flag proudly for many years, there is condemnation of this hateful act.
This is not who we are as a people. And there may be individuals who have some kind of political or religious agenda that they're prosecuting. There are better ways of doing it than what they've done.
Police say they have 2 suspects caught on school surveillance cameras, riding an ATV and carrying a saw outside the schools over the weekend. The school board says it may take some time, but the flagpoles, along with the pride flags and Canadian flag, will go back up outside the 4 schools as soon as possible.
Although this has happened to us, we are assured that we will be putting the flagpoles back up and will not be deterred from any vandalism.
As much as people say it's just a flag, it's just a parade, they're just making a fuss over nothing, it really is integral to community and inclusion.
In Perth County, Scott Miller, CTV News.
Meanwhile, Oxford OPP say they're investigating more stolen pride flags across Norwich Township. They say several flags were taken from multiple locations, including Emily Stowe Public School and nearby homes. A solidarity walk and rally has been organized for tonight, taking place at Emily Stowe Public. London police have announced charges against the woman accused of crashing a vehicle through the wall of a West London fitness centre on Friday. They say 59-year-old Jennifer Lynn Hopper is charged with 6 counts of criminal negligence causing bodily harm. Police have said about 30 women were inside a Good Life Fitness Centre at the time taking part in a class. 6 were injured, as well as the driver. Police say one of the people injured is still in critical condition. Another is listed as fair condition, 1 in good condition, and 4 others have been discharged. They have not clarified the nature of Hopper's injuries. However, they say she did make a court appearance earlier today. The fitness centre, meanwhile, remains closed.
We have a series of investigations. Currently, our accident reconstruction unit is engaged, as well as our major crime section. They're considering all investigative angles, which require searches and examinations, and those things take time.
A memorial is taking shape at the site of a fatal crash north of Kitchener. Flowers and stuffed animals lay by the roadside in Mapleton Township, where 5 children were killed in a crash Friday night. Police have said they were all siblings. The children were in a van that collided with an SUV along with their parents, grandmother and another child, all ranging in age from 4 to 12 years old. Toronto police have charged a 12-year-old boy with attempted murder accused of hitting an officer with a car. It happened after police were called for a reported stolen vehicle. With more on what transpired, here's Beth McDonnell.
With sirens and lights blaring, a Toronto police officer sits on the ground up against the guardrail on a bridge. This is the scene after Ontario's Special Investigations Unit says a chain of events unfolded involving a police officer firing at a stolen vehicle driven by a 12-year-old boy. His passengers, another 12-year-old and 13-year-old.
I think I heard 3 all after each other, like boom, 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 in the sequence like that. And then I heard and saw the car speed off this way.
The SIU says the chaos began with a call to police around 1 in the morning about a vehicle being stolen. Officers used 2 cruisers to box the car on the bridge. When the 12-year-old driving tried to get away, an officer was hit by the car.
And in the course of that, there were multiple shots fired at the vehicle by that officer. The driver then fled this scene and abandoned the vehicle a short distance away from here.
Here is the vehicle, the doors flung open, sitting about a kilometer away. One resident in the area tells CTV News she heard what sounded like young people running, saying something to the effect of, "We got to get away from the cops." The SIU says the driver was caught a few blocks away from the car. The other 12-year-old was also caught, and the 13-year-old is still out there.
Saw guys with, looked like they had assault rifles, police, and with flashlights, looking in everybody's backyard.
This is the 3rd serious incident causing a police officer in Ontario to either be injured or killed on the job within the past week. Last Tuesday, OPP Constable Taryn Bally was struck and killed by a driver in Northern Ontario. Then on Thursday, Toronto Police Constable Mark Pinizzato was executing a search warrant when he was shot and killed. The officer hit in this case went to hospital with serious injuries, but has since been released.
The violence against police officers need to stop, and we were lucky we don't have another dead police officer here today.
Officials say the 12-year-old boy driving the stolen vehicle sustained non-life-threatening injuries, either from being grazed by the bullet or glass from the vehicle. He is now facing several charges, including attempted murder. Beth McDonnell, CTV News, Toronto.
It was a cool start to the day. Good evening. I'm meteorologist Julie Atchison. As we head through the evening, skies will be mainly clear. We have seen a bit of cloud cover across the area, so cool conditions will continue out there tonight. It was nice and fresh. Temperature hovering in the mid-teens in parts of Midwestern Ontario. London breaking that 20-degree mark, but most of the region on the cooler side of what's normal for this time of year. So as we head through the next couple of hours, the temperature hovering at around 21 degrees with light winds. And as we push toward midnight, just a few clouds across the region. We'll be at 16 degrees by midnight, but cooling off across the area. The forecast low in London, 11 degrees. Chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms invade this week. We'll talk about the timing of these showers. We'll take a look at your 7-day coming up in just a few minutes. Carlyle, back to you.
Thanks, Julie. Defense lawyers opened their case today at the murder trial in St. Thomas, looking into the death of a 22-year-old woman. They're arguing the man accused of killing her acted in self-defense. However, they admit it may have gone too far. With more, here's Nick Paparella.
In her opening address, the lawyer for the accused, 53-year-old David Yates, told the court this is a case of intimate partner violence. However, Cassandra DeMello said, unlike most of those cases, the victim here is her male client. The court has heard that the victim and the accused had a turbulent relationship. And on July 5th of 2023, the badly beaten body of 22-year-old Caitlin Jennings would be discovered at this home at 562 Kingsway Avenue in West London. DeMello claimed that before that date, Mr. Yates endured months of serious and life-threatening assaults at the hands of Ms. Jennings. The lawyer went on, she would choke Mr. Yates with her arm in a chokehold regularly. You've already seen a video of that too. These were not isolated incidents. The court has heard that there were several assault occurrences involving Caitlin, Yates, and police, with DeMello claiming on several occasions she choked him to unconsciousness. She would kick him, and on one occasion even bit his face. She added, police intervention not only happened for this last incident, but for many incidents, as the court has already started to hear. Once officers found Caitlin's body that summer day, they would charge Yates with second-degree murder, and he has pled not guilty. Once he realized Caitlin had passed away, DeMello argued that Yates was overcome with grief, and that's when he attempted suicide to escape the unintended reality of the situation. During the Crown's evidence, the court heard that Caitlin suffered more than 200 injuries, and before wrapping up her opening, DeMello told the court, because of the amount of injuries to Ms. Jennings, Mr. Yates understands that a true, full self-defense defense is unlikely to succeed. And that's why she asked Justice Joseph Perfetto to find Yates guilty of the lesser charge of manslaughter. The trial resumes on Tuesday. In St. Thomas, Nick Paparella, CTV News.
London fire crews responded to a battery fire in the North End early this morning. They say the flames broke out in an apartment complex on Huron near Adelaide. According to witnesses, there was smoke billowing from an apartment on the upper level of a three-story walk-up. An occupant reportedly placed a smoldering e-bike battery on their balcony. Fire officials say that person was treated on scene for smoke inhalation.
These batteries are one of the fastest growing concerns in the fire service right now across Ontario, Canada, and the U.S. So I want to make sure that people are safe out there, make sure you're using the right charging system, and make sure that you're supervising the charging at all times. Yeah.
Emergency responders say one person was sent to hospital over the weekend after they crashed into a hydro pole on Warncliffe Road. It happened Saturday morning just south of Highview Avenue. The road was closed for hours while hydro crews repaired the pole and the vehicle was towed away. Witnesses at the scene told CTV News it appeared the driver had a medical emergency before the crash. The head of the Old East Village BIA says London's new downtown master plan must have a broader focus to include all core area business districts.
You cannot focus specifically on downtown. There's no criticism to the consultants because that's what they were asked to do. However, you need to look at the core as a whole because they're all intertwined, they're all connected.
Kevin Morrison has written a 44-page report responding to the downtown master plan. It recommends including nearby business districts in the implementation of a core area improvement plan, including OEV, Midtown, Soho, Hamilton Road, and Wortley Village. Tomorrow, councillors will consider a consultant's report which recommends spending $48 million over the next 10 years to reimagine downtown London. However, Morrison says the first priority must be addressing homelessness and safety across the core.
If you don't address the problems that are there, you're not going to be able to move forward with a downtown revitalization plan or the economic development plan as well. It's not going to happen. People have not got the confidence to come down to the core area or downtown with the street level crisis that we have right now.
Construction has begun on a major commuter route through Byron. It's a year-long project rebuilding Boler Road, and as Brian Bicknell reports, that's creating some anxiety for business owners and residents.
Commuters and residents in Byron are being asked to dig in for a long haul.
Construction has to be done. Everybody be complaining if it wasn't done, so we just have to live with it.
The 2.5-kilometer stretch of Boler Road from Commissioners Road West to Southdale Road West is about to get a major overhaul. A $6.6 million reconstruction project will go for at least 1 year into the summer of 2027.
This is a great opportunity to improve Boler all the way from Southdale to Commissioners. It's being designed as an urban, community-focused road.
Improvements include a two-way cycle track and upgraded pedestrian crossings and traffic signals. Boler Road homeowner Marion Ross says she understands the need for the construction, but believes it could have been planned better.
The emergency vehicles that go up and down here, they're talking about narrowing the street, which is going to make it very difficult for people to get in and out. It's already bad.
The most significant impact is the full closure of Boler between Byron Baseline and Griffith Street until October. The owner of this business at Byron Baseline says it makes him nervous.
We will lose business because now they have to take a long way. So instead of wasting, extra time traveling to here, they might go somewhere else which is closer, right?
Residents along Boler also say the road has been notorious for burst water mains. In fact, the city says the main reason this work needs to be done is because the water pipes have reached the end of their lifespan.
The section along Boler where we have to close for water main repairs, we're doing a full water main replacement. We've seen 13 breaks on this aging infrastructure over the last few years, which is disruptive for the public.
The city says detours will be in place, but local access for residents, businesses, and emergency services will be maintained throughout the project. Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
One of Canada's last surviving Second World War veterans has been honored with another accolade, now at the age of 102. He's a London resident, recognized with an honorary degree for a lifetime of service, resilience, and advocacy. With more, here's Rita Ismail.
George Herbert Beardshaw, by virtue of the authority vested in me as Chancellor, I admit you to the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa. Congratulations.
At 102 years old, Sir George Beardshaw is still collecting accolades and still keeping his sense of humor.
Quit giving me awards. Yeah. Quit giving me. You gotta stop.
The Second World War veteran received an honorary Doctor of Laws degree from Wilfrid Laurier University on June 9th.
I'm so honored, to receive something like this. When I think of all the other boys that were in the Army, and I think they all deserve awards like this.
Beardshaw served with the Queen's Own Rifles during the war and spent the final weeks of the conflict as a prisoner of war after being captured in the Netherlands. But his remarkable story began long before his military service. At just 14 years old, Beardshaw arrived in Canada as a British home child, part of a program that saw thousands of children from Britain sent overseas, often alone, to work on farms.
George's life story is one of resilience, bravery, and service. In the 80 years since the end of the Second World War, George has been a proud member of Canada's veteran community and a dedicated advocate for the recognition of the lived experiences of British home children in this country.
Beardshaw's wartime service and lifelong advocacy have earned him numerous awards and honors, including France's Legion of Honor and the King Charles III Coronation Medal.
He has been out in the community speaking about wartime for many years and at many military events, and also about home children as well. He was very proud to join the Canadian service, and he is both a very proud Canadian and a very proud Englishman as well.
I got so many medals, I don't know which one to choose, Yeah.
And while he may joke about receiving too many awards, those closest to him say his contributions to Canada will continue to be remembered for years to come. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
Local students had a chance to reconnect with their younger selves thanks to a project years in the making. Lauren Stallone has more on the letters they wrote to themselves and their reaction.
Shall I say back in grade 1? So I scribed it for you.
After years of waiting, grade 8 students at Stony Creek Public School finally get to hear from someone extra special. Their past selves.
Thought, why not have them right now write a letter to themselves? And 8 years go by, and here we are today with them getting their letters back.
Their former teacher, Chris Harris, says he hoped the letters would give students an opportunity to see how much they've grown.
It gives me actually goosebumps. It's just hearing them talk and share stories of little things they did or their memories of the past and how they were such nice people back then, and they still are.
Students say they are grateful Harris held on to their letters for so many years.
I think it's a pretty great opportunity.
think that's kind of crazy because, like, I never thought I'd actually get this back. So it's like, what do you know? Like, it's kind of cool.
Eager to see what was inside, students spent the afternoon catching up with their younger selves and reminiscing about the past.
I wanted to be better at English because when I was in grade 1, I was like new to Canada and I didn't know English much.
Some were relieved to know not much has changed.
I still like the same movies and stuff. Yeah. Shrek and the Grinch.
And for others, some questions have yet to be answered.
I also said I'm going to have 6 girlfriends in high school.
And is that true?
Yeah.
You think that's going to happen?
Definitely.
As for what the future holds, some students have their minds made up.
I'm probably going to go to the military to serve my country for a couple years and then retire.
I hope to be like a judge or a lawyer. While others are making their financial advisors proud.
I want to get like a career that I enjoy, but one that I can get money with.
Be an electrician or something, because they make pretty good money.
Something that gives me a lot of money.
Lauren Stallone, CTV News.
When we come back, Western leaders gathering in France as a potential deal emerges to end the war in Iran. Plus, Canadians watching the price at gas pumps to see whether that deal will pay off. Welcome back. President Donald Trump says the details of a tentative ceasefire arrangement will be released soon, but there are still outstanding issues with a signing set for Friday. World leaders welcome the news in France, site of the G7 summit. And with the latest, here's Mike LeCouture.
Everything is very nice, thank you.
As he celebrated brokering the deal, U.S. President Donald Trump gave a timeline for the full opening of the Strait of Hormuz.
They're doing a little hunting for a couple of mines that they've already found, but it's essentially ships are starting to go out now. On Friday, it'll be completely opened.
Nearly 1/5 of all shipped oil passes through that waterway, and Trump boasted it should be flowing again soon. The UK and France are making a push for a multinational naval mission to keep the strait open. Prime Minister Mark Carney has said Canada could contribute to securing the strait, but wasn't specific.
We'll have an opportunity starting from tonight at the G7 in Evian to see what we and other countries can do to help reinforce this important progress that's been made.
For the G7 leaders, the priority is also to prevent Iran from acquiring a nuclear weapon.
First, it will fix the nuclear issue, and it's a very important matter for peace for the whole world.
Carney also underscored the importance of making global commodity systems more resilient to wars so consumers aren't affected by these types of conflicts.
I spoke to President Macron about a few options on Friday, and under his leadership and President Trump's and others will look to make progress there.
Trade will also be on the agenda at the G7, with the French president underlining the importance of working together. Tariffs do no one any good, especially between G7 countries, Macron said. Canada has that same message for the U.S., but Carney isn't planning to bring it up with Trump. He told reporters those discussions will be held on the sidelines of this summit between the Minister of Canada-U.S. Trade, Dominic LeBlanc, and U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Evian, France.
Global markets surged today on the prospect of a peace deal, despite the complications yet to be resolved. With more on its implementation and what it means for Canada's economic outlook, here's Adrian Gobriel.
Months of pain at the pumps has left many fuming, hoping for a break. The peace deal between the United States and Iran has yet to be signed, the details yet to be released. The global oil prices are responding. The international standard for the price of oil, Brent crude, fell nearly 5% to just over $83 US this morning. That's still a way off from $70 a barrel, the approximate cost of Brent crude in the weeks leading up to the war in Iran.
The new normal, so to speak, for the oil market, it's much, much different than what is 3 or 4 months ago. We think that $80 is going to serve as the approximate floor.
While the price for consumers fluctuates from province to province, the national average at the pumps today in Canada is roughly $1.65 per litre. A year ago today, it was hovering hovering at $1.35 per litre. And it could be months before Canadians catch a meaningful break.
We're going to be stuck for the next year, maybe even 2 years, with unusually high prices. Don't look for $1.30 at the pumps anytime soon, even with the federal government giving off a 10-cent excise tax break. We'll be lucky if we can stay in the $1.50 range for the remainder of 2026.
Depleted oil reserves need to be replenished. That takes time. There's multiple other variables still at play. Iran's foreign ministry today saying they plan to charge a service fee to vessels using the Strait of Hormuz. The price tag remains unclear. And while ships are expected to begin leaving the strait in the days ahead, what's needed most is for more to arrive.
Until ships are willing to enter in and unload onshore storage, we will continue to lose 11-ish million barrels per day of production every single day.
As long as prices remain elevated here at the pumps, so will the overall cost of living for Canadians, from the price at the grocery store, interest rates, to inflation. Adrian Gabriel, CTV News, Toronto.
The federal government is reporting a decline in opioid-related deaths last year. As Abigail Beeman reports, the numbers represent progress, but the situation remains a crisis.
Sorry, Angie, can you tell me? I've accidentally died. Angie knows how terrifying a drug overdose is.
I had a little puff, and I immediately fell forward and passed out, stopped breathing, and went completely blue.
The Public Health Agency of Canada released new numbers showing opioid deaths dropped by 23% last year, with hospitalizations down 12%. But there were still more than 5,600 deaths in 2025, a staggering 15 people every day.
It is fragile. We've seen a decrease for 2 years in a row, but that follows many years of increases, and the number of overdose deaths are still higher than they were before the COVID pandemic.
Officials say one of the reasons for the drop is more access to naloxone.
There is no silver bullet to solve this crisis.
But death from benzodiazepines, benzos, are 3 times higher than before the pandemic, and naloxone doesn't work there. While some think closing safe injection sites like this one in Ottawa will make things worse.
It's going to be a lot worse than what it is now.
It's a darn shame, and there's going to be a lot more ambulances running around.
Then there's the tie to the trade war, with the American president using fentanyl as a tariff justification. It turns out the Canada Border Services Agency seized less fentanyl in 2025 than the year before, when we didn't have a fentanyl czar.
It's a slight decrease. From my perspective, the drug trade in this country is largely domestic production and for domestic consumption.
Kevin Brasso went to Washington today to bring this latest data and sell the message that Canada's measures are working. He says in general, his conversations with Americans are well received. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
On the desk with Julie Atchison now at the start of what's shaping up to be a cooler week by especially our recent standards.
Absolutely. Temperatures today coming in a bit below normal. Tomorrow we'll be right where we should be, but it feels a lot cooler. It's fresh. This morning it was definitely fresh out there. I was out early this morning playing tennis, and I even had a light jacket on to start. 21 degrees. We made it. It took all day to warm things up this afternoon after the temperature was quite cool through the early part of the day, and even parts of Midwestern Ontario really not seeing that temperature climb too much through the afternoon. So some areas towards northern Huron, Perth, not even making it past 17 degrees. So feeling that cool air, especially coming off Lake Huron. We do have a weather system moving through northern Ontario. We do have some weather action on the east coast, but in terms of watches and warnings in Western Canada, things are quiet. Numerous records broken yesterday in the province of Alberta. Temperatures climbing, so it was extremely hot, and still dealing with some of that heat in through British Columbia. And as you can see, Calgary still 22 degrees. We get into some cooler air across the northwest. We do have an upper level low, and it's closed, circulating near James and Hudson Bay. This is going to play a key role in our forecast this week. So we are on the unsettled side of another blocking pattern that has developed. So this is our upper level air map. I just wanted to quickly show you that. So that's where the closed low is. And that means we will have a series of low pressure systems, albeit they're weak to start, but they will generate the risk risk for scattered showers and thunderstorms as we head into the afternoon. So tonight, things will be quiet. Temperatures overnight, once again, quite cool. If you want to open up the windows, tonight might be a great night to do that. We'll dip down between 10 and 11 degrees across most of the area. Along the lakeshore of Huron and Erie, about 13 to 14. We'll start your morning tomorrow with a mix of sun and cloud, but the cloud cover will quickly fill in as we head into the afternoon, and you can see the scattered showers developing. Now, the probability of showers tomorrow afternoon is 40%, so there'll be lots of areas that don't pick up any rain and thunderstorms at all, but some areas that do will see some heavy downpours associated with them. So as you can see, this is Tuesday at 4 o'clock. London not under a thunderstorm. Again, though, this can change quite quickly in where these showers and thunderstorms is set up. As we head into the overnight Wednesday, still the risk for showers, but Thursday we'll see some rainfall. So we do have an unsettled week ahead. To start your morning tomorrow, a mix of sun and cloud. Chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon, but 24, that is exactly where we should be for this time of year, and the winds kicking around to the southwest tomorrow. Same weather story as we head into your Wednesday, a mix of sun and cloud early in the morning to mainly cloudy, and then the chance for showers and thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. Now, rain's expected to linger Wednesday night, then into Thursday. So Thursday will be likely the day that's quite wet and windy across the region. So these 2 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, there will be some nice breaks of sunshine and lots of rain-free time. Thursday looks very unsettled through the afternoon with gusty winds. 25 with a chance of showers again on Friday, and then we break out of that. Mix of sun and clouds Saturday, Sunday into Monday. Daytime highs from 23 to 25. Midwestern Ontario, again, you'll be dodging scattered showers and the chance for thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon, and then again Wednesday afternoon. But remember, sunshine early in the day with nice breaks, both Tuesday into Wednesday. Wednesday night, the shower action becomes a little bit more widespread in terms of coverage, and then we have showers and gusty winds on Thursday at 22. 23 on Friday, and clearing just in time for the weekend, but temperatures over the next 7 averaging a bit below where we typically are this time of year. So Carlyle, we are in for a little bit of rain this week. We just need to keep our umbrellas handy, and not the best week to be doing any outdoor painting, especially if you need an extended period of dry time.
All right, Julie, thanks very much. Still ahead, familiar voices cloned, scammers using AI to fool loved ones into sending money. A new survey from the Canadian Independent Businesses Federation suggests most small business owners feel unsupported by the federal government. Nearly 3/4 of respondents said the spring economic update did little to change their situation. Nearly 60% said they're under pressure from rising fuel costs, while about 40% said economic uncertainty is making it difficult to do business. More than half also said they would not recommend starting a business right now. A Canadian father is coming forward after falling victim to a scam which involved criminals impersonating his son, convincing him he had been arrested and needed bail. As Pat Foran reports, the voice was likely altered with artificial intelligence.
Neil asked us to shield his identity, but he wanted to share what happened to him to warn others. About a week ago, he got a phone call from someone claiming to be his son.
My son said, "Do you know who this is?" And I said, "Yes, it's Brian." He said, "That's right. I thought I was talking to him because it was his voice."
The caller said he had been in a serious car accident and was facing charges for talking on his phone while driving. A man who claimed to be his son's lawyer said he needed money or his son would spend the night in jail.
The lawyer said I needed to post bail of $6,000 to get Brian out of jail. An Uber driver arrived and I handed him the package with the $6,000 in it.
Neil says after he sent the bail money, he called his son the following day to check on him.
I happened to call Brian the next day and asked how the meeting with the lawyer went, and he said, "What lawyer?" And I said, "Well, what about the accident you were in?" He said, "What accident?" And then I realized that I had been scammed.
This is becoming a wildly popular way to scam.
Cybersecurity expert Jane Arnott says criminals now just need a small sample of a person's voice to clone it. They're then able to impersonate someone to sound just like them.
What they can do just by getting about 10 seconds of anyone's voice, they can recreate that voice to sound exactly like that person.
To avoid AI scams, don't post videos on social media, don't answer calls from numbers you don't recognize, have a family safety phrase or code word. In an emergency, call family members directly, never send cash, and don't be rushed to make decisions. Neil regrets losing $6,000, but says in the moment, he really thought the caller was his son.
Well, I can tell you that now they have managed to simulate that voice, and you believe it's real.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Canada's main stock index gained while oil prices fell today. On the latest updates from the White House on Iran, the TSX is up 338 points. In New York, the Dow added 469, the Nasdaq up 795. The Canadian dollar dropped a modest 0.03 of a cent. On commodity markets, gold gained more than $110 an ounce. Oil fell more than $4 a barrel. Coming up, a story of survival thanks to My Sister's Place, the local woman who credits the London organization with saving her life.
My name is Mehreen Ahmed, and this is my son, Hamza Ziad. Hamza had just turned 3 when we found out that he had a hypothalamic hamartoma. This seemed to have been causing a lot of brain damage for him.
We knew that this is a type of epilepsy that we need to intervene faster. So in despite of having several months of waiting for patients to get into the OR, we were able to bring Hamza sooner. We are so grateful for the generosity of the donors that were able to make the ROSA robotic arm a reality for us, because without this type of therapy, we wouldn't be able to treat undiagnosed Hamza.
After his surgery, he's been seizure-free. He's a different boy completely. This is not the same Hamza anymore. We couldn't have him sit like this before. He was very restless. We had a birthday party for him this year. We didn't do them before because he hated them. He hated the noise. He hated being with people. So it's made a big difference for him.
In terms of his development, what we prevented is that Hamza wouldn't be able to reach his full potential. He's asleep better to improve his overall quality of life that was suffering significantly before the surgery.
A London woman is crediting a local organization for saving her life when she was at her lowest. With more on that message ahead of the annual Run for Women this weekend, here's Brent Lale.
CMHA and My Sister's Place specifically helped save my life.
Melissa Curry recalls a time in her life when drugs and undiagnosed mental health had her on the brink of death.
When you're living out on the streets, it's lonely, it's scary, it's unpredictable. You know, my nervous system was constantly on guard, and I remember I would walk into that building and it was like a very home-like setting. The support, just being able to feel safe, even for a brief period of time, was instrumental.
Curry has been clean for 15 and a half years, but there was a span of about a decade where she struggled. She was in and out of the judicial system, and she'd lean on the Women's Drop-In Center during her darkest days.
Sometimes the only meal or shower or clean change of clothes that I would get was from My Sister's Place.
Curry was one of a record 1,060 participants in the Shoppers Drug Mart Run for Women. She got out of her comfort zone and told her story on stage.
It's so wonderful to see somebody like Melissa come forward and be willing to share her story so that people can really see the impact that services have. Our budget's $1.8 million for the year, and 90% of that is all through fundraising dollars, and this just goes such a long way. People come into our space for all sorts of reasons. We provide a nutritious meal, a hot shower, a place to do laundry, rest, connect for mental health supports. There aren't a lot of spaces like that where it's women only, where they are safe and they can get the needs met that they have. So sometimes they'd be on the streets, sometimes they'd be staying in places that are unsafe.
I used to be the person that ran from the police. That was the only running that I used to do.
Curry, who is now a skilled trades worker, was taking on the 10-kilometer run.
I'm healthy and well and have both of my feet, and it could even be a possibility to run 10K. Beyond grateful.
Brent Lale, CTV News.
The 5th annual Wortley Pride event was held this weekend. Hundreds of visitors filled the green in Wortley Village, along with more than 120 vendors. Organizers say they had 17 acts perform this year, which included music and drag story time.
Just a celebration of queer joy. Everybody's here to love and accept each other, who they are, as they are, and it just fills your heart. It's almost palpable here today.
Tomorrow on CTV News, former Woodstock Mayor Trevor Birch back in a London courtroom to face sentencing after pleading guilty in a sexual assault case. That's tomorrow on CTV News at 6.
A shout out tonight to Donna Groves for sending this a photograph. And Donna, temperatures this week much more comfortable across the area, right where we should be for this time of year. The risk of showers and thunderstorms developing as we head into every afternoon through the week.
Canada's second World Cup match is this Thursday, taking on Qatar in Vancouver. Injured captain Alphonso Davies remains a question mark for that contest after missing the opener against Bosnia and Herzegovina. With the latest on his recovery, here's Andrew Johnson.
Alphonso Davies is on the training pitch today at the University of British Columbia, a day after he hit the streets of Vancouver and met a fan who had no idea who they were talking to.
Wow, it's a great jersey. I just want to say, I love your jersey. Let me see who's in the back. You see? Yes.
The man wearing a Davies jersey didn't realize he was face-to-face with the superstar in the video Davies posted to social media. Davies remains in what's called return-to-play protocol, still working his way back from a hamstring injury. A question mark heading into Thursday's crucial match against Qatar. Will he be ready?
Fonzie, he's one of the best players on our team. He's a world-class player, so obviously to have him in the lineup would be amazing. But obviously Richie's done amazing too. Richie's been fantastic, and whoever has played in that position has been fantastic when the time in the games he's missed. So we have complete confidence in the roster.
Qatar is coming off a surprising draw against top-ranked in Group B Switzerland. Every team in Canada's group has now started the tournament with a tie. It will surely be electric again in downtown Vancouver Thursday after the city hosted Australia and Turkey on the weekend. There was a crowd of more than 52,000 inside and a mob of fans downtown on Granville Street and near BC Place Stadium partying deep into the night. But police reported only 2 arrests. Everyone pretty well behaved. And officials in both Canadian host cities will hope that trend continues. As for Toronto, the day before Canada is back in action here, FIFA returns to BMO Field when Ghana takes on Panama. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Vancouver.
The British Prime Minister announced wide-ranging rules today banning social media use for kids under 16 while restricting gaming and live streaming platforms.
Laws are rules, but they're also an expression of our values. They shape the social contract. And so this will change the conversations that parents have and the expectations of children over time. It will make a huge difference. It will make our children safer. It will make our children happier. And will give them more time, more security, more freedom to grow up.
The plan targets social media platforms like Snapchat, TikTok, and Instagram, as well as gaming sites where strangers can communicate with children. The changes go further than any other country so far and could include overnight curfews, as well as curbs on infinite scrolling for under 18 users. Canada has also announced a plan to protect children from online harm. Finally tonight, the Soho Community Association's annual Soapbox Derby was this weekend. Crowds came out lining South Street, cheering on the field of racers. With more on the festivities, here's Brent Lale.
Go! This is second annual Soho Soper.
The Soho community lined London's South Street Hill Sunday for a day of soapbox racing, creativity, and fun.
And they're off.
try to make a dragster car for the Hot Wheels theme of this year. But for right now, this is all we got. But the wheels are just a pain to keep straight.
That's the toughest part.
I think we did pretty good.
They had activities for the kids and even a celebrity race. It pitted MPP Terrence Kernahan in the Moose, Councillor David Ferreira in his astronaut-inspired moon buggy, and Councillor Skylar Frank in the LTC bus.
And they're off.
That's when things got a little controversial. Kernahan with a straight left turn to wipe out Frank.
Unfortunately, the antlers were not to standard, and they did not stay on.
I thought I got off to a clean push, and then all of a sudden I see Terrence coming across, so I tried to go left to get out of his way, crashed, but then my pit crew jumped up, we got reset, and kept going.
Ferreira cruised down the middle, looking like he had it all wrapped up.
There was a significant accident right at the beginning, and then I was right by myself in the lead, and somehow Skylar just made it up beside me. I have no idea how that happened.
A lot of people came up and tried to give us all a last push, so I made it over. I beat David, but I don't know if I was allowed to get all that extra help at the end. That's okay.
It was all in fun, just like the concept of the entire day.
The big thing that we're trying to do here is introduce London to Soho, because it's revitalizing. There's so much going on here, and it is a great place to grow a family, and we're trying to encourage people to come to Soho. The other thing we're trying to get is kids with their hands on tools and experiment without an app. We've had rebuilds in the park where we brought all the kids in and got hands on tools. We've got grades 7 and 8 using skill scars, so we're really happy about that part.
Brent Lale, CTV News.
That's it for us. Thanks for watching. For your latest local headlines, you can always head to our website. I'm back tonight with your late news at 11. Bye for now.